Hi, good evening. My name is David, and I'm running a session, the final session in this current run of Hearts of Wulin this evening. Hearts of Wulin is a wuxia powered by the apocalypse game, or I should say, powered by the apocalypse game of wuxia melodrama. Get the proper branding in there. So yeah, it's a game by Lord Francis. Had a successful Kickstarter last year, or earlier this year. Time. What even is it? No, it was last year. So it will hopefully soon be available to the public. As I said, it's a story. It's a game of martial arts and melodrama in a fantasy China. In specific, for this game, we're using a couple of the additional rules from the playtest set, the courtly rules and the supernatural rules, to kind of give it a bit of a flavour of the Untamed in what we're doing with it. This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing club. We have a sort of calendar where we post and sign up to games like this one. We also have a series of podcasts and a monthly gaming zine called Codex. If you want to check out any of those, you can find out more at Sorry, I am incapable of speaking this evening, it seems, which does not bode well, but at gauntlet-rpg.com. Also the Hearts of Wulin is published by the Gauntlet, so you can also find more information about that there as well. But yeah, there'll be a link to that down below, so you don't have to put up with my mangling of the URL. Awesome. So we are down one of our players this evening, sadly, and we will be we may be joined by another partway through. But for now, I will ask my players to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about the characters that they'll be playing this evening and kind of what they got up to last time. So yeah, as ever, we'll go through this in character keeper order. So Puckett, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hi there, I am Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Tonight, for the last time, I am playing Zhang Long, sometimes known as Young Zhang, sometimes known as Blind Zhang. He was blinded in a sorcery accident gone horribly wrong, which killed his master Li Feng, when Golden Soul scholar Shang decided to reach for more power than he knew how to control. Last session, I sealed a gate of hell. Kind of turned into a giant spider in the process. Came back from that okay. Basically kind of pointed out to a demon that really didn't want to mess with me. And then picked up some techniques from said demon on the conditions that that demon leave the kingdom immediately and never return. So, it's going pretty good. Unless you're Golden Soul Scholar Shang, who is about to have an extremely bad day.
Awesome, thank you very much. Yeah, next, Brian, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are playing this evening.
I'm Brian, he, him, and I am playing Mirror of the Cloud, also he, him. Mirror is a outsider trickster who would much rather be meditating in nature than spending time at court, but because of all the drama that's going on, has been called and is, what does Mirror do? Mirror is, trying to draw as little attention to himself while also gathering information and gathering influence, and yeah, has kind of been involved in all of Zhang Long's workings, but to his own goals and with his own opinions. And recently gained the ability to control chains.
Indeed, and in fact, that does remind me. I did put together a quick move for that. That I've put on your character sheet. As ever, as I said before, with the ones. If there's anything you want to tweak or change with that, just feel free to do so. But that's kind of my start of 10 on there. I did intend, as ever, to get it done earlier in the week, and as ever, completely forgot. So apologies for that. Well, last for the moment, Maria, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight.
All right, I am Maria. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Yaling Liu, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is the unorthodox / servant playbook. Unlike Mirror of the Cloud and Zhang Long, she rather likes being at court and has kind of like come into a position of power while under servitude to the clan leader of the Liu clan, Concept Silver Starlight. She has sort of like arisen from nothing, and so now has kind of like spent her entire adult life trying to become powerful and influential, using her position as much as possible. In the last episode, she may or may not have gotten basically an amulet that lets her talk to a demon who was also like, hey, if you want power, I can probably give you that for a price. She also attempted to distract a scary demon lord by offering her services as a servant / spy, but luckily before she left the cave with like the worst brand on her, Mirror of the Cloud came and distracted from the distraction. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I think Zhang Long might have some problems with how she is trying to get power, but we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So the first thing that we do, the very first thing actually, before we get into the play proper, as ever, we will be playing with safety tools this evening. We have some lines and veils in the character keeper. Do check those over and just remind yourself of what those are. If you need to add anything to that, or make something into a line of veil that isn't currently, then feel free to do so. All I ask is if you do make any changes, just let me know, just send me a message or something so that I can let other people know to check back up on those. We'll also be using the X card and script change as ever. I have described these to my players before, so we won't go into full details on those now. I think everyone is familiar with and comfortable with those. So yeah. And obviously open door policy. If at any point you do need to leave, do feel free to do so, whether that be for a couple of minutes or for the rest of the session. If you are able to let me know, especially if you're going to be out for the rest of the session, please do, but don't feel that you have to if something comes up and you do need to leave. So yeah, that's our safety tools. So yes, the first bit of the actual game proper. We're just going to check in on our entanglements. Obviously, this evening, because this is our last session, things like the actual earning XP via entanglements is less important. But if we do want to use these as a way to sort of focus what we're playing towards, feel free to have a look through those. If there is one that you want to change, an update for this session, go ahead and do so, and choose one to highlight if you wish. And I'll just give you all a moment and then check in if there are anything you want to call out that you want to sort of look at this evening and with relationships with other characters wise. And we can try and fit that in. Cool.
I can already tell you I'd like to work on one of my entanglements and kind of change it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure thing.
I think actually it still works as written. Although I think the Dark Destiny is probably more for Yaling Liu at this point, if Lightning continues being in love with them, considering their views on power. But I kind of wanted to shape it something more along the lines of believing in Yaling Liu and their potential to do the right thing.
Sure thing. Yeah, that sounds good.
You have any thoughts on how to word that or how to tweak that?
Yeah. I think maybe just I guess if you're sort of referring in the context of that one, maybe something along the lines of I believe in Yaling Liu, but I am concerned that they may be led astray or something
Sure.
along those lines.
Got it.
Yeah,
Working on it.
Cool. Brian, any particular entanglements that you wish to update or focus on this session?
If we were continuing on, I would probably keep but rewrite. I took part in a crime against Tian, my friend Lei Ming's brother. Seeing as how Tian has publicly accused me of conspiring against Golden Soul Scholar, it's probably time to reword that one, but it's still more or less in effect, and I don't know that I'm going to bother rewording it since basically we understand the situation.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. We can always, I'm sure, bring them in to have a bit of a confrontation as well if things go that way. So that's cool. Thank you. Maria, anything you want to update in any of your entanglements or anything you want to focus on this evening?
Yeah, I was thinking I might rewrite the general entanglement, which currently is Lei Ming has given me secret private training. That Zhang Long will be enraged if they learn the extent of our relationship. And I was I'm still typing it, I think, but I think I want to do something like Lei Ming and I seek power in different ways and for different motives. And perhaps, I don't know how to involve Zhang Long in it exactly, but perhaps he feels the tension between us or something. The two people that he's sort of given advice about power to are taking that advice very differently.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
More to the point, if it feels like one person is listening and the other is arguing.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
But awesome. But just for a very quick recap on last time to go of what was already been said. Obviously, the group of people went out to the Mount Fang, where you defeated Brazen Promise, the king of the Hell of Boiling Copper, and recovered or I should say, laid to rest the skull of the monk Faithful Lotus, and in the process disrupted a portal to hell that is one of the sources of Golden Soul Scholar's power. Yaling Liu was met and apprehended. It's probably in scare quotes by Consort Silver Starlight, and is being escorted back to the capital, or back to the palace of the Immortal Throne, in chains, albeit chains to which she has the key. I think we will skip ahead through the journey back, unless there's any scenes you wish to frame whilst on the journey. If you do, feel free to jump in, and that is cool.
One thing I was thinking,
oh, sorry, I think you've muted yourself again.
I don't know how to do that. how was it described? The amulet, the necklace that Yaling Liu was given by something.
Boundless
God,
Sorrow.
Boundless Sorrow.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I could take my move, assuming it's a supernatural presence, to see if I feel anything from it with my Eerie Moon and Evil Star.
Yeah, certainly.
ability,
Certainly.
'cause that just seemed interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I gotta open that. I think I rolled water for this every time because that makes sense. Why change now? So that's 10.
10, perfect. So, on a hit, you perceive the hidden energies and may ask a study question about it. On a 10 plus, you take a +1 forward in dealing with it and learn the manifestation's purpose. So I'll give you the obvious thing at first. You can feel a connection between this amulet and Boundless Sorrow. You've obviously encountered Boundless Sorrow before. You kind of have a feel for their spiritual energy, as it were. And this is definitely a link to them. It's definitely a way of communicating with and possibly even summoning them forwards. That's kind of what you get just from the feel of it. And yeah, you can ask another question. Oh, actually, I'll also give you just because you also get the, I believe on the 10 plus you get the purpose of it, and yeah, the other thing that you do, you will get is you will also realize that this won't just allow Yaling Liu to contact Boundless Sorrow, but it will also allow Boundless Sorrow to keep tabs on Yaling Liu as well.
For my question, can I just learn Boundless Sorrow's scale?
Yes, certainly. Boundless Sorrow is of higher scale, not of significantly higher scale, but they are of higher scale than you. They similar to some of the descriptions before. Very, they are unlike the sort of the guardian demons that you saw in the place. She is both a demon of some power in her own right and also a skilled martial artist. So they would be a challenging opponent.
Sure, but like I already went and recruited Whispers on Stone for help in that. So do I think that we're fairly even?
That would definitely tip the balance in your favor, or at least that would even the playing field if you were able, sure, deploying them against her. Yeah. Okay.
Then I probably want to have a scene with Laning or with Yaling Liu about that at some point.
Sure. Yeah.
Are we doing it like? Is like Yaling in like a cage or something?
Yeah, I think
like,
so. Yeah.
As we're going back, and maybe Mirror of the Cloud is like writing nearby or something.
Sure.
Do you have to look at the amulet to use your skill, or is it something that would go unnoticed?
I mean, it just says I can like perceive hidden energies, so they can be hidden. So I imagine you may have seen Mirror.
Okay.
Kind of eyeing you like he probably was like riding by, and then I don't know if you were paying attention, you might have seen him kind of like the pause and tilt of the head, like just feeling something. Is it like an amulet on a chain? Because that makes it a little bit interesting now that I can like control pain.
I don't know. I don't know what it's hanging on.
I'm not trying to remember what the description.
Yeah, we'll say for sake of argument that it is.
So yeah, maybe Mirror kind of like rides up alongside and has it gives it a little shake and says, "Yeah, that could end up being a leash or a collar, depending on how you play things.
Yaling.
I hope you're being careful."
She like grabs it in her hand and it's like, it's a little weird when you do that. Some people would ask before touching another person's amulet.
Didn't touch it.
And I've heard that you are somewhat familiar with the person who gave this to me. Are they likely to use it as a leash?
Oh, they would use it on you as a collar. But the opportunity is there for you to instead use it as a leash on them.
Are you familiar with opportunities such as that? I have heard that the last time you spoke to this person, you did so in a moment of desperation.
They sensed my desperation, I suppose. Hoped to take advantage.
In your desperation, did you give them a tie of their own?
I made a promise to return what was theirs to them. Promise I'll keep.
What did you get in exchange?
I was given bait. They hoped to catch me in their trap. Were you desperate when they reached out to you?
No. I try not to be desperate. I like to think when they reached out to me, my options were rather open.
I think they only ever offer bait, but sometimes bait can be taken without triggering the trap.
That's what I plan to do. Well, hopefully.
Well, good luck with that. If you need help,
I think she looks at him a little bit. It's like, I'm a little curious. What can someone like you have been desperate for?
What was the name of that town? It was in
Mile End.
Mile End. That would have been the first time I protected you.
Yes, you do seem to be making a habit of it. You weren't desperate to protect me, were you? That would not have been necessary.
Well, in the end, Boundless Sorrow's help wasn't needed.
Well, I'm glad. Well, very well then. I suppose, even though it looks like I might be more in your debt than you are in mine, if ever I do need help, again, I'll look for you. Do you think that scene?
Oh.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll just
On
check.
the ride back, can I meditate to clear a condition?
Yes, absolutely.
Do I need to do a montage or description? or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
just
that?
a little description, a little short vignette of that would be cool.
It's kind of hard to tell that I'm meditating because I do wear that band over my eyes. But if you paid attention to my hands, you'd see my healthy hand cradling the now useless one. Probably see a couple of spiders dancing across them. I feel like has the weather cleared up now that we've taken care of this gate to hell?
It has. It's there's still kind of that feeling of like a storm in the air still, but it's largely cleared out now.
Right. So the other spiders don't need to be maintaining that umbrella over my head. So I think what you notice is that down my back, there are some spiders that appear to be sleeping and resting. There are other spiders that are working on combing my hair as I just ponder what has just occurred and what is yet to come and what I need to do to be ready for it. It's very much the way of the warrior preparing for a battle they know they are likely to lose.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, and we will. I think where we'll come back into things again, unless anyone else wishes to phone us in the meantime, you'll obviously make your way back to the palace, and if there are, I just want to check in with each of you if there are any preparations that you wish to make or people you want to see before this showdown with the Golden Soul Scholar. So yeah, I'll go back in order. So Zhang Long, anything that you wish to any preparations you wish to put into motion, or anything else before going on?
Absolutely. I want to go see Placid Swan.
Certainly.
And if you want to go around and see what other people want to do, that's totally fine with me.
Yep, cool. No, that's an idea. Yep. So Mirror of the Cloud, is there anything that you would like to do in preparation, or anyone you would like to speak with?
It's a good question. No, I can kind of just see how things play out and take it from there, I guess.
Yep, by all means. And Yaling Liu, is there anything you would like to sort of put into motion before you are taken before Golden Soul Scholar? Obviously, your circumstances are a little constrained at the moment, but you will certainly have opportunity to have words with people, or possibly even slip your bonds for a time before you're sort of brought before him.
Yeah. I don't know if I need to use like the game of court move, but for something. But what I want to do is like sort of get word to Azure Condor and like let him know that we may or may not be planning to move against Golden Soul Scholar.
Awesome. Yeah. I think so. I think we can have that. We can use the game of court for that. I think that seems like an appropriate move to use. So with game of court, when you attempt to put your plots and schemes into action, roll plus influence spent, and then you get to choose options from the list.
All right. I have 3 influence, and I might as well use it all because we need allies.
Certainly.
And do I also roll with an element? I can't remember.
No,
just with
the amount of influence you spend.
Okay. It's a good thing. It still doesn't help. That is 3 plus 3 is 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it is not possible to spend bonds on that roll either.
Cool.
It is just down to your influence. So yeah.
Lovely.
I think that we get that that moment where where you've kind of got a message, and you pass it to one of your fellow servants of Consort Silver Starlight. I think they are sorry, I just forgotten what the actual family name is. That is oh yeah, of course it's Liu. What am I talking about? I'm confusing you with Laning, who has a different name. But yes, so it's it's Wei Fan Liu, one of the fellow servants of Consort Silver Starlight, takes sort of the message from you, and we sort of see them heading heading out. But we then see them reporting to Golden Soul Scholar and handing the message over to them. Wei Fan says, "My lord, here is further proof of the plots against you." A Golden Soul Scholar nods and says, "Indeed, it is as I thought. I have people. I have my troops ready to intercept Azure Condor and his followers. They will not reach the palace." He kind of nods and says, "Very well. Bring." And he'll sort of wave Fan off, and sort of motion to sort of a couple of the guards in the room and say, "Well, it is time to pass judgment. See that the Yaling Liu is brought to the Grand Hall. I will judge her there," and sweeps out of the room. But with that, we will cut back over to Zhang Long as you are meeting with Placid Swan.
Any chance I could meditate on my way to Mile End? Clear another. I know I'm hammering on this because I still have like every condition but 2, or every element but 2 marked. So.
Yeah, sure thing. In fact, I think maybe we can see you a brief scene of you meditating with Placid Swan.
Faithful, yeah. Okay. That works.
I think it should be a cameo with Min Yang. Brief meditation session with Min Yang.
Yeah. Like at the stream with the spider silk canopy and the spider silk hammocks that just sort of like gradually became my spot, where I just kept standing on rocks and practicing techniques and such. So yeah. Min Yang can lay in a hammock, with spider spun silk, probably with spiders, just like bringing little tasty things to eat.
Excellent.
So, okay. Getting just a little bit better every time. Okay. Pretty much, right? So, I've needed to talk. I knew one of the first things that I needed to do upon returning from Mount Fang is talking to Placid Swan to let her know what happened. So where do I find her?
Yeah, so I think you actually find her in the village. She is helping out with the rebuilding of the village. There was a fair amount of damage to people's homes and the like during the Attack of the Dead, she's there sort of helping out, carrying wood and hammering nails and all that sort of thing.
Placid Swan, I bring news for you and a request.
Master Zhang Long, it is good to see you again. She will kind of bow to you and say, and she sort of she puts like the planks down in the pile that she's carrying it to and says, "Of course, do you wish to walk with me?" And she'll kind of start leading you away somewhere that's a bit more quiet from the sort of hammering and sawing going on.
Your master, Faithful Lotus. His spirit is at peace.
I am glad to hear it. What what happened to him was it was terrible. Thank you for
The
your
plans for what? It is good that we found his remains. The plans were even worse than you feared. His skull was in the possession of a demon, one of the lords of the hells, who seemed to prize it greatly as the soul of a truly holy man.
I see. Well, that is of course. It is a very good thing that you have freed him then. Thank you.
I also have a request of you.
Of course, anything I can do to repay the kindness that you have shown.
Did Faithful Lotus ever teach you any martial techniques?
Some. He had mostly put that part of his life behind him, but some, yes.
I wonder, could you show me? I know that I will be facing the person most responsible for desecrating his grave soon, and anything I learn might be a boon in such an encounter.
Of course.
And I realize this will probably shock you, but I would like to learn a new technique.
Sure thing.
So which tab has the dice room on it?
It's in the basic moves, but I will also just copy the link in to the chat.
Okay, I already got it.
Cool.
Alrighty. So rolling plus the number of times I've seen the foe's fighting form. With Faithful Lotus, that is 1 for the dervish. And does the skull disintegrating count or no?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I'll be rolling with +2. And that is an 8.
Okay, excellent. So on an 8, there's either there's a there is a significant cost to learning the move. I think that in order to achieve the sort of necessary focus to do this, it will be you'll have to basically sort of take on a like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not penance. Like you'll have to swear what is the word for it?
Take a vow.
A vow?
Yeah. You've got to give something up. You've got to swear a vow of like to either do or not do a certain thing. What is that you have to sort of give up for this?
That's a heck of a good question. Anybody have any ideas? And about all I can think of is like I making him give up like his rage or his wrath, and go into the conflict with Golden Soul Scholar basically at peace like a monk.
Yeah.
But I if it's supposed to have like some kind of mechanical effect, I don't know that gets there.
No, nothing like that. It's more about the sacrifice aspect of it. That that sounds good to me. I was thinking either and I think a kind of sort of
which makes sense
angry.
since we were talking about like a meditation scene
Exactly.
with Placid Swan. So kind of like a final calming before the battle.
Yep.
Okay, that works. And then, if it's okay, I think I'd like to try to visit Yaling Liu in custody.
Yeah, certainly.
So is she being held in the cells with the demon guards and such?
No, I don't think she is actually, because I think she's just sort of been put into one of the I think it's just in one of the regular cells because the sort of she's only going to be in here for a short amount of time, or that's the idea anyway.
Are they treating you well, Yaling?
Oh, I think you hear like a tapping noise, like she's like tapping her fan against like her palm, and I think it sounds like she's very bored, and she says, yes, it is. Not, I'm surprised actually at how nice these prisons are when you're not in the dungeons.
Now, are you tapping something out as a code with your fan?
No, it's idle tapping.
Well, I suspect if they had intended to keep you longer, you would have been held in different quarters.
No doubt. I would probably have had another chance to reconnect with my friend Hungry Demon, or whatever their name was.
I suspect the closing of the gate to hell probably means they are no longer in a state where they can converse with you.
One only hopes. I suppose maybe that demon was from a different level of hell.
It's possible.
What are you doing here talking to me? I assumed you would have had some sort of preparation.
I meditated.
I see.
I had a conversation. I said goodbye. That's enough.
Have you been preparing for conflict or your own funeral?
When one goes into conflict, one should always dig 2 graves.
I was always of the opinion that when one goes into conflict, one should approach the conflict with some confidence.
Oh, I have confidence. When it comes to a situation like this, You're always leaving something of yourself behind. Are you prepared?
Well, I have done my best to ensure that we will not be alone. Sent off a message to Azure Condor, and I just await the final call.
That's not what I'm asking.
You think you hear like a creak of a cot as like Yaling starts to pace? Am I prepared for power? Death?
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yaling, I have faith in you. I believe that you can be the leader this kingdom needs. But that will not come without a cost, and it will not come without sacrifice. Power has a price, no matter where you get it from or how you come by it. It's time for you to stop playing these games at court.
You've told me this before, and if I had said that I was ready, you would have told me that one cannot go into these situations overly confident. There is no right answer to your question.
I just need you to be sure that when the moment comes, that you will strike and that your blade will strike true.
I'm willing to pay the price. And you know, I will do what you ask me to. But it depends on so much how fast we are able to control the court, the factions. Maybe some time yet, and perhaps the circumstances will change.
I wouldn't worry too much about the circumstances at court. I have something of a plan for that.
Should we be concerned?
You? No.
Who?
Rest assured, Yaling, I will harm as few people as possible. My plan involves fear and terror more than injury. Our play will be something long remembered. And your name will likely become part of a legend. And who doesn't like to be a hero?
There's a very the sound of a fan slapping shut with force and a thud on a cot as Yaling sits down very hard and sighs.
I believe in you, Yaling. I believe you can be the ruler this kingdom needs. I only wish that I could be around to see it.
I only wish I will. I think she hesitates and then she says with more force, yes, I am ready. I can do this. I can be the person that you think I am.
Good. Also, the person that I think you can be would be very careful with that amulet. And you can almost hear me smile through the wall.
Yeah. We need to keep our options open. And I will do so with care.
Have you need of companionship? I could send some spiders to entertain you if you wish.
I don't think I need spiders.
Are you sure? They could dance for you.
Perhaps I should consider a plan. I've heard meditation is useful preparation.
It is. Very well then. No spider dance for you.
Take
Good day,
care.
Yaling. I'll see you soon. I think that's scene.
Yeah, awesome. And I think we'll take a quick break there, come back at
Okay.
1:15, and yeah, pick things up.
Okay.
Awesome. Welcome back, everyone. So yeah, I think with that, we will get sort of a scene. The court is assembling in the throne room. Golden Soul Scholar is sat on the throne as Yaling Liu is led in on a chain by one of the by some of the guardsmen, and Golden Soul Scholar is stands and says, I have gathered you here today as there have been plots and schemes to undermine me and the sanctity of this throne. This treacherous wretch, he gestures towards Yaling Liu, you see before you, has abused the kindness they were shown by Consort Silver Starlight to plot against me, to plot against this very court, and undermine the bonds that bind us all together. And he will turn to Yaling Liu and say, so, do you have anything to say for yourself, traitor?
Only that I did my best to accept your leadership as our, well, this Golden Soul Scholar, who is so renowned and a wise leader. But then I came to see that the source of your power is causing us more trouble. And, well, if people don't have the power to fight back, then perhaps that's not good. He says that in like way more flowery court words than I can think of right now.
That is more than fair. And I think if you would like to make an impress roll, I think just for kind of getting the general, seeing if you get the court generally on side. As ever, you can roll with whichever element you think is most appropriate given your approach.
We are going to use Earth, as she is leaning very hard on her stage presence.
Sure thing.
Why does Roll for Your Party hate me? Okay, that is 5.
Yeah, so I think we you sort of see the crowd, the court as a whole are watching you with wariness. I think they are. I mean, obviously, one of the things that is very obvious is that obviously, as your Condor and the majority of the Wu clan are not present in court today. The members of the other clans definitely seem to be eyeing you with sort of suspicion. Perhaps they've been rumors have spread of you in your absence, maybe. And Golden Soul Scholar will say, well, pretty words, Yaling Liu, but they change nothing about this situation. I would be weak if I allowed such signs of defiance, and I cannot do so. I have to be strong for the benefit of all of us, for the whole kingdom.
You start hearing the tapping of a staff rhythmically coming in the direction of the court.
And I think Golden Soul Scholar will turn to the tapping and says, well, it does sound like Zhang Long is making an entrance. How very predictable. Come. No doubt you wish to weigh in on this.
Oh, Shang. You silly little foolish petty man. You have no power. I banished the demons that aided you. I merely have one last bit of business to attend to. Old business.
And what is that, Zhang Long? Speak quickly, for you will join your... He waves at Yaling Liu, companion, in their punishment for the insolence you have shown me, but do speak.
No, I don't think I will. And at this point, I would like to summon my spiders and have them web off every entrance and exit with enough silk to turn the room dark.
Sure thing.
I figure I'm going to need to roll for that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that will be a roll.
Alrighty. So does my sorcerer move kick in? When you duel with supernatural forces, take +1 ongoing?
Probably not, actually, because Golden Soul Scholar is not actually supernaturally powerful anymore.
Okay. And then does the plotting that I've done with Yaling count as triggering Final Master?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty. I will roll that with Earth.
Sure thing.
I'm just going to clear all these dice.
Yeah, no worries.
That is a 9.
9.
Final Master.
So I believe on a 9, is that 1 or 2 hold?
Hold 1.
Yeah.
Hold 1 while carrying out the plan. You can spend your hold to add +1 forward to a roll, clear an element, or have a vital item at hand. So let's see. With that done, Silken Whisper. Let me roll with... Go ahead and roll with metal.
Sure thing.
That's a 10.
Perfect. So I believe on a 10, it works. You get what you want.
And 10 plus choose 1. Okay. The swarm is mostly destroyed, an innocent or ally is bitten, an onlooker thinks badly of you, or you mark an element. Could we frame badly as fear?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Because I figure this is probably pretty terrifying for people. Like there's just this ungodly amount of spiders that have now turned the room pitch black by webbing off all the entrances, all the windows, etc. We're all stuck in here now.
Cool. I mean, I think I'll ask, who's the specific person here who you kind of try and frame the sentence the right way. Which is a person here who you'd sort of least like to have fear you, but obviously they do.
Just for the sake of it, could Min Yang be in the room?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah.
Okay, because I think Yaling was maybe not ready for this, but knew it was going to get dark. So I don't think Min Yang has quite realized the preparations I've done or exactly how bad it has gotten.
Sure thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, that's So that's fair?
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. Yep.
And I think at that point
You,
I
you,
say,
you may not know that Min Yang is in here too, since Min Yang is like a fugitive. So if he's in here, it's because he like snuck in.
could be.
Um,
Or maybe Min Yang's watching from outside and just seeing the spiders crawling all over this building and thinking, I knew about the spiders, but I did not know that there was this level of control and mayhem possible. And I say to Shang, finally, I would say we're on equal footing, but Shang, now you're in my world, seeing things as I do, but you don't have any practice with it. Fitting, don't you think?
How very clever, Zhang Long, but it will do you naught. It will aid you naught. I will defeat you.
No, you will bore me. And I want to go ahead and rouse the sleeping soul. I want to slap his soul straight out of his body.
Sure thing.
And I'll roll with metal. Oh, it was bound to happen sooner or later. So that's a 4 plus 2 is 6. I will spend my hold to bring that up to a 7.
Sure thing.
And on a 7 to 9, I need to choose 2. I will absorb internal harm from Shang, and I'll mark an element.
Sure
I'll mark
thing.
Earth. So that gets me... Yeah, I'm going to temporarily seal his soul.
Yeah, and I think there was just a moment of shock from him as he feels sort of his chi flow is interrupted, and he is all but paralyzed for a moment. And I'm just going to go over to Mirror of the Cloud. Do you think that you are in the room whilst this is going down, or have you been elsewhere? As I am aware, you do have to turn up on at any point and things. I was just wondering if you were actually present for this, or you've been kind of lying in wait.
Yeah, I hadn't totally decided, but I imagine I would have wanted to be here if I could.
Yeah,
I'm also
sure.
a fugitive, so I would have snuck in somehow.
Yeah. How are you disguised? Do you think?
Maybe just dressed as a servant.
Yeah, sure thing.
That's a classic.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, so the room is dark. The natural light has been shut out, and I think maybe people are sort of scrambling to sort of light torches and lanterns, but the light being given out at the moment is very sporadic and dull, and not dull, but dim. That's the word. As we would just sort of see sort of like the room is just in these like shifting shadows and gloom. Yeah, so I think we'll go to our final confrontation. So yeah, sorry, Zhang Long, you are obviously before Golden Soul Scholar. How does it look when you sort of come for him? As I presume that's what's happening now.
Through the little bits of light that people have been able to summon, whether it's a candle here or there, I look like a black cloud of spiders. I don't seem to have legs or arms. You can see my face, you can see my hair streaming out. But it's very much one of those scenes where I leap into the air, the fabric of my blindfold trailing behind me, and it just looks like this writhing mass of spiders leaping toward Golden Skull Scholar Shang.
And I think we see just in the gloom, there's just that sound of a sword being drawn, and just like thin traces of light are being reflected off of his blade as you come for him, and he is very much on the back foot at the moment. You can tell he is not moving with the power or speed you would expect from a martial artist of his caliber. The disruption to his soul is clearly affecting him. But he is still able to muster a defense for the moment whilst he tries to recover himself. He is weaving a sort of a shield of blades in front of him as you come for him.
Now, how does a duel work with an NPC?
Yeah, so basically we just go back and forwards, describing things a little bit until we sort of reach a climactic moment, and then you all roll to see what the outcome is.
Well, as he swings his blades, you see spiders start to light onto them and crawl toward the hilt. Quickly swarming over his hands, biting them.
And I think we see that you can kind of hear him like gathering his breath, and we can see a light almost coming out of his palms, but it's faint and flickering, not with the sort of strength you'd expect. But it is enough to kind of it's driving back these spiders that are crawling up his hands. But you can already see sort of some of some of his skin starting to puff up with the poison that's been injected into him.
So he's using magic?
Yes, yeah.
Does that make him supernatural yet?
Not really. No, he's not actually a supernatural being. He is just a pet.
Okay. I don't like him trying to use magic. So once again, I'll use that tornadic effect. But this time, a tornado of spiders, knocking him off of his feet.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, and I think that is where we'll go to the roll. So I think at the moment, with how you have stacked the field against him, I think that you are actually in a you're actually above his scale currently.
I'm glad I didn't spend the last 7 sessions learning techniques and smacking the soul out of demons for nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, so how many scales above him and am I?
There's not really a like a hierarchical thing sort of thing. But you are higher scale.
Okay. So fight a duel, roll plus style element.
Yeah.
On a hit, I win the conflict. Okay. Okay. That's a 12.
Excellent. So, on a 10 plus, so you win the conflict, and in a moment you'll get a chance to describe how this looks. If you show them mercy or let them escape, you can mark XP, but you do not have to. So yeah, how does this look?
You did say this is the last session, correct?
Indeed, indeed.
The spiders crawl all over Golden Soul Scholar Shang and swarm him. And you see the outline of a human in there for a while, and then it appears to start to shrink. And you realize as you hear the sound of chewing and gnashing and crunching that the spiders are actually consuming Shang. Flesh, sinew, bone, and organ. And soon enough, the spiders are crawling on the floor, having eaten their fill.
Nice. Oh, well, I guess not, but you know. Excellent. So, Golden Soul Scholar is very dead. I think the room is becoming more illuminated as more torches are lit. I think Mirror of the Cloud, you'll be sort of relatively close to where they are. Tianning lets out a shocked cry. I mean, lots of people let out shocked cries. This was fairly surprising and intense, but Tianning calls out, "Traitor, what have you done?" And he's obviously clearly advancing on Zhang Long. What do you do?
Sorry, who is advancing?
Tianning.
I do not remember who that is.
Lei Ning's brother
yeah.
tried to assassinate you on the rooftop.
Oh, gotcha. What would Mirror do about that? don't know that Mirror would necessarily feel the need to. I mean, Mirror might just be taking this chance to sit down on the throne again. I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do with it. Maybe something to do with that necklace. But I know the throne's got some kind of power, and I feel like Mirror wants to use it while he has the chance. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure thing. So yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see Qianning sort of going, like I said, advancing on Zhang Long. But yeah, that people are clearly quite distracted at the minute, so now would be an opportune moment for you to try and get onto the throne. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking on the. Yes. So one of the things you will be aware of as you sort of approach the throne, it clearly you do not get as much of a sense of power from it as you did before, but there is still definitely a power to it. There is a like I said, it feels it feels you can feel sort of the strength coming from it. What are you kind of looking to do with the power of the throne?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any different plans. I mean, I would love to take that to turn that what are we calling it? Is it the amulet?
Yeah.
I would love to turn that amulet back on Boundless Sorrow.
Yeah.
And you know, use it to control her.
Yes, and you could absolutely. I'll sort of give you this. I'll give you this for free. In fact, actually, yeah. If you'd like to make your eerie moon move.
Okay. Yeah.
As well. But yeah, while you're sort of doing the role, what I will give you free is the power of the throne obviously is all to do with sort of command and control. So you think it would be able to you would be able to essentially use this and the amulet as a focus to forcibly summon Boundless Sorrow here. Command her to come into your presence, essentially.
So that's a 9.
9, perfect. So yeah, on a 9, I think that just means you get to ask a question about it. Yeah, that's right.
know. That's a good question. I mean, I guess what I want to ask, I guess, yeah, I want to ask Yaling, are you ready to what is the question? Are you going to cooperate in this, in me trying to summon Boundless Sorrow, or oppose me in this?
Oh, are you asking, is Mira asking Yaling? Or are you asking?
I don't know that I'm actually like out loud asking. Well, I mean, or maybe I am.
Or is it like you make eye contact on your way through?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm part of all this. I'm looking at you to see, yeah, okay, what your motivations are. Yeah, what your intentions are.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Yaling is hesitant to bring Boundless Sorrow into this right now, just because there's already, like, we just defeated one person who was tied into the demons. She would want to distance herself from someone who is also going to bring in another demon, even though potentially we're going to try to control them. So I think, like, if you want her to help you, maybe Hearts and Minds, or like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, yeah,
I mean,
she's very hesitant to.
Yeah, I didn't make the Hearts and Minds roll when we had that conversation earlier, because I felt like it was set up for one that was probably going to happen at some point. So maybe now's the time to, like,
yeah,
make that roll. What am I rolling this with? I don't know. I'll say water again. I'm trying to, yeah, I was trying to convince you that I have the wisdom of how to deal with these demons. It's a 9.
So yeah, on the 7 to 9,
so 7 to 9, I also mark an element if you decline.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you get an XP if you go with it. We both mark an element if you don't.
Mm-hmm. And so what exactly or like, how are you?
I'm just saying that this is the opportunity to,
yeah,
as I said, to leash this demon instead of being leashed by it.
I think you'll get like a grim nod from Yaling. I feel like you have to like get it off her, because her hands are bound. She can't like reveal that she has the key in front of all these people.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, he can.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, there's general chaos going on, so I don't know if you need to worry about being seen to be unchained. But
look, we got to be careful. We have planned.
Okay, fair. But you'll let me take it without.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I won't fight.
That's all I ask. So should we go straight to using found magic? I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That sounds like a plan. So yeah. So yeah, for use found magic, as ever, you pick a stat that you think is appropriate.
I will roll with wood.
Sure
I
thing.
think this is mirror. Yeah, being his most mirrory. That is a 10.
A 10, excellent. So on a 10, you have to choose one. It has to be recharged to use it again. You mark an element, and you can only use that element to roll to use the item, or it vanishes back whence it came after use.
I'm not even sure which I'm using. Is it the throne or the?
It's the throne. Yeah, it's the throne specifically. Yeah.
I guess it must be recharged to use it again. Seems fine.
Yeah, sure thing.
I'm just. It was already reduced, I guess. So I drain the last of it to do this.
Indeed, and the last person bound to it has just been killed as well. So. But yeah, with that, you take the amulet in hand, and there is a that strange, like almost like depressurizing, like when you're in a plane, and a puff of smoke, and Boundless Sorrow is summoned before you, and I think they're sort of summoned into a kneeling posture, though they are clearly unhappy with the state of affairs. So he says, I trust you have a very good reason for summoning me thus. Mirror of the Cloud, you owe me a debt still.
Oh god, here we got names. What's the soul that was in the prayer beads?
That Faithful Lotus.
Faithful Lotus. Yeah, I think I take out the box, and Faithful Lotus's soul is been put to rest. So the task you set me on is not going to be able to be completed.
And you think that by summoning me here in front of an audience, my wrath will be reduced, because I can assure you that is not the case.
I'm trying to think how to do this. I think Mirror just says, I gave my word that I would return the box, and so now that is what I'm doing, and then I'll open the box.
Yeah, and there is a jet of water fires out of the box. It will actually drench her briefly before it all kind of pools off of her into the vague form of Whispers on Stone. And she will grimace and say, "I do not find this amusing, little man." And yes, she is going to lunge towards you. But the Whisper on Stone is also lashing at her with almost like jets of water that seem to sort of cut through her skin, drawing out slightly incendiary blood as it does so. But yeah, I think we'll go into a duel here. How does Mirror of the Cloud react as she comes towards him?
I think you just see Mirror retreating, but like he's leaving like a trail of chains behind him. And so if she just follows, she's just going to step into that, and they'll start rising up and wrapping around her.
Yeah, and she's kind of trying to fend off Whisper on Stone as she strikes out towards you. And yeah, if you would like to make your roll.
Oh no! Well, that's a 7.
Yeah, that's okay. So on a 7, you, as I say, this is essentially a duel on equal footing. So on a 7 to 9, you can choose to either win at a cost. So either you mark an element, they escape, you lose reputation, or you choose one of the other costs. You narrate your loss and mark XP, or you fight into a deadlock.
I am doing this in front of everyone. Losing reputation, I don't know. Would this cause me to lose reputation? Seems like it would change my reputation, certainly.
Yeah. It would certainly have people think differently of you, I guess. So I can go with that one.
Sure.
But yeah, how does it look as you defeat Boundless Sorrow?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of I don't know that Mirror ever even gets that close to her. He's just constantly retreating, and it's just a battle of attrition as she just gets more and more worn out and tired, and more chains coil around her. And I wonder if the chains that are specifically like got coated in that copper react differently in some way. I don't know. Once she's defeated, like what?
So yeah, I mean, there's no kind of incentive for you to do one or the other. But yeah, you can either spare her or release her, or you can destroy her. It's your choice.
Can we just say like she's the specifically like the chains that are coated in that copper absorb her?
Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, I think we kind of see them entangle around her and almost drag her down into a fissure that opens up in the ground. And there is that possibly that scent of molten copper that is familiar to you all as she's dragged down. Excellent. So I think we'll take another quick break here, come back in about 5 minutes, and then we'll catch in with what happens next and where you want to go with all this. So yeah, see you all in a few minutes. Cool. Welcome back, everyone. So yeah, as I think I'm going to check in with Yaling Liu. So yeah, as Golden Soul Scholar is defeated, and Mirror of the Cloud is dueling with Boundless Sorrow. Is there anything you would like to be doing?
I think I see Tian advancing towards Zhang Long.
Yep.
And I think, like, with all the chaos, like, maybe we hear Yaling's voice, like, yelling basically hold and, like, trying to get everyone to at least stop fighting for a second. We're the cloud and, like, everyone, whatever, probably ignores that because there's more important things to do. But, yeah.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, if you'd like to make me a hearts and minds roll.
Let's see. I'm just gonna use Earth again.
Yep, sure thing.
Ha, that is 10.
10, perfect. So yeah, as Chen-Ning is advancing, he stops and looks to you and looks to Zhang Long and says, very why have you done this? What is all this about?
Stop for a second. I might be a treacherous wretch, but everything I've done, well, can't you see that Golden Soul Scholars leadership has just led to this infighting within court?
So what then? We just kill one another indiscriminately in a race for power for the throne? Is that it? He kind of gestures towards Zhang Long. So will Zhang Long rule over us now? Is that what this is about?
No. Power gained through more violence isn't the way. All I'm asking is that you not kill him now. And all I ask is for everyone to stop fighting. We have to sort ourselves out calmly. And she'll look at, like, Concert Silver Starlight. My lady, you have experience. in court. You know how power works. Perhaps you can show us how to govern.
And Silver Starlight will take the stage and say, it is true that Golden Soul Scholar allowed his desire for power and control to corrupt him. I perhaps should have done more to stop him. Maybe we all should have done more. But what is done is done. We must select a new ruler. We will summon Azjoconda back to court. And we will make a decision as to who will rule this land next.
My dear consort. And I look at Yaling and wink, making sure that no one else can see it. How bold of you to assume that a ruler would be selected. And Tian, how absurd of you to think you could do anything to stop me. The most powerful person in this room was a snack. And yet you presume to think that you could even touch me? Shang stood in my way. Shang is gone, as are the demons that brought him to power. But all of my skills and all of my knowledge remains. All of you will fall in line, or you will meet the same fate that Shang did. And Silver Starlight, I shall make an example of you first. And I would like to do something, and David, if you want me to make a roll for this, I will. But I want to intentionally let my spiders get out of control. So considering that would be the fail state, do you want me to roll for it?
Yeah, so I suppose, yeah, it depends. If you're actually happy with them actually rampaging, then that is fine. If you want them to essentially, if you want to control them into behaving like they're rampaging, then that will be a roll. If that makes sense. So if you still want to kind of keep the reins on them, that will be a roll. But if you are happy to just absolutely let them just run amok, then that, no, you will not need to roll for that.
Okay. You know what? Just for grins, let's roll.
Sure thing.
And I'll roll with, I believe it's metal is my martial. Yes. So there's metal. And that's a failure.
So yeah, they do indeed run amok amongst the court. Several people will get bitten.
If Tian Ning gets devoured, I'm not going to cry too much.
I think Yaling tries and gets. It's hard to get between lots of rampaging spiders and someone, but she'll try and get in the way of Constant Silverstone and say Zhang Long, stop, control your spiders. Stand down.
And I'm just going to... The blindfold around my eyes obviously blocks it. but I think that you can tell there's something different this time because the spiders don't seem controlled at all.
It's very important to mirror the cloud now if Min Yang is or isn't in here. Did we ever settle on...
I think that they probably are in the audience, yeah.
Probably at the back, like just standing in the doorway, like staring at what's going on with their jaw dropped.
I'm not sure if Mir would need to roll inner conflict before doing this, or he can just he would just move to get Min Yang out of here.
Yeah, I don't think you'd need to roll an inner conflict for that particularly, because that's essentially just doing what's...
Yeah, I think it's just...
Yeah.
As you're trying to like protect Min Yang, I think this is when Yaling is like looking at you and trying to be like, Mirror, I need your help.
And I'll look at Yaling and say, your words have swayed this council. You are too dangerous to let live. You can unite this council. And if you can unite this council, there is no telling what else you could unite. You must be destroyed. I want to go ahead and use Rouse the Sleeping Soul.
Sure thing.
Against me?
And I'll use Metal. That's an 11.
Sure, yeah.
So, Maria and David, if you two are okay with this, I'd like to temporarily put both my soul and Yaling's soul on an astral plane.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
Sounds cool.
So we're just kind of like, our souls are floating there in midair as all the chaos is going on. And you can see me very tranquil and very serene. Like I was before all this happened. You can actually see my eyes. My hand is restored. You see me as I was before everything started to go wrong. Yaling, you know what you must do.
It's now the right time. They still see me as a traitor.
If you strike me down, they'll unite behind you. I no longer have control of the spiders. What you're seeing them do is what they do. Look, they're attacking indiscriminately. There's no logic or reason behind it. They're feeding on the court.
Never thought we would see it happen this way. For some reason, despite everything we talked about, I imagined we could still sway the court without ending in chaos.
This is what happens when people seek power, when they try to manipulate it for their own ends instead of serving the good of the people.
If I destroy you now, what makes me different than everyone else who has claimed power by violence?
because you're acting to protect.
Do
You're
they
acting
know
to
that?
defend.
Defend against a threat of our own making.
But they don't know that. To them, it seems like I'm another would-be petty tyrant. A usurper. Someone claiming the throne for my own, to rule in terror. Right now, they see me as no different than Golden Soul Scholar Shang. Only more fearful.
I feel like Yaling is coming face to face with emotional turmoil.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, if you'd like to roll in a conflict.
Bad time to be conflicted
I mean, I did
about
just pull your
things.
soul out of your body to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I guess it's an external conflict. Yeah, so.
And I'll use caution. She's being very cautious about how she handles this. Seven. That is a 7. That's like, could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, so you have to either flee the scene or mark an element.
If I flee the scene, is that me going back into my body?
I think probably at this point it would be more actually like fleeing the scene in the throne room.
Okay.
Yeah. As this sort of astral projection thing is only kind of temporary anyway.
Okay. I'll mark an element then. Yeah. I will mark. Can I mark my style element?
Yes, you can. It does obviously mean that you are, whilst it is marked, you are incapable of fighting, but you can do so.
Let's not do that. I think I need to fight, maybe. I will mark Earth then. That makes sense.
Sure thing.
This is the play, Yaling. We're about actors on a stage. And this is the climax. The peasant turned servant, turned hero of the land.
I did say that when the time came, I would do what had to be done.
Then become the hero and let us both pass into myth.
Your name will be remembered.
As a villain. Yours is the best of us.
I will remember your name, though.
It's enough that one person knows the truth.
I don't want it to hurt you.
Yelling. Everything necessary in life hurts. Just make it quick.
I'll do my best.
Goodbye, friend.
Thank you.
I'm sure I'll see you again someday.
I hope so.
And with that, I sink back into my body.
I think there's like a moment hesitation, and I think Yaling like launches herself as Zhang Long. The chains have fallen from her wrists because, yeah, I guess we had a key.
It's probably just the power of the noble hero.
Her fan is extended, and like I think we zoom in and we see like there are steel points on it. Do I roll duel?
No, we don't. This isn't a true duel here because
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
And even if it were, we've negotiated it over what, 2 sessions, 3 sessions?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think maybe like we see her like draw back to strike the blow, and maybe the camera just like pulls away so we don't actually see it.
But you get that sound effect of like the shing of the metallic as the fan like straightens out, and you see like that gleam coming off the tip.
Maybe there's like a far out, like a shot of just like Zhang Long's like arm outstretched and like a spider crawling.
Yeah, and I think we kind of get a probably like a little cut to the stream outside the palace, and just like a couple of like leaves drifting down onto the into the stream.
I was thinking a flock of white doves would suddenly take flight.
Yeah.
I've watched too many John Woo movies.
Excellent. And I think that is the point we will leave the game as a whole. Though what I would like to do is just go around and just have a quick epilogue from each of you, either in the immediate aftermath of events or sometime in the future, as you see fit. We'll obviously we'll start with we'll go through in character keeper order, but yeah. Obviously, Zhang Long is no more. But what do we see of the world that you've left behind, Zhang Long?
If it's okay, could we start with Maria first?
Yeah. If that's okay with. Yeah. So yeah. We'll go back the other way. So yeah, Yaling Liu, if you'd.
Yeah, maybe it's some vague moment in the future. We just get like a brief shot of Yaling in quarters that look a bit more furnished and put together, and she has a stack of scrolls on a desk and is like writing, but I think maybe she lifts her head and we see her like watching a spider form a web in like the corner of her window as she like, and then she goes back to like writing something that is some law that is hopefully just.
Excellent. And yeah, Mirror of the Cloud. What do we see of your future, or as I say, the immediate aftermath of the?
Maybe we see Mirror returning the box to the heavens. I don't, climbing some peak.
Yeah, and I think we sort of see like a sort of like figure partially obscured by sort of glowing light, but obviously in like long fine robes and sort of long fingered hands taking the box back and yeah um, kind of yeah, then they take the box and bow their thanks, and there's get probably like a you know a small flurry of like petals and stuff falls down as this glowing light fades again. Yeah, awesome. I like it. And oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, clouds all around, yeah. And yeah, Zhang Long, what do we see from you?
And there's usually at least one or two spiders around Yaling, even if she doesn't see them. But there's a very strange stream near the Temple of the Immortal Throne, where there appears to be an unusual amount of spiders weaving canopies over the stream, weaving things that look like hammocks for no purpose, for no reason. But it's usually very quiet there. Quiet enough that not even the stream makes sound as it moves along its path. And it burbles against the rocks before and after. But there, even the water is silent, and you just hear the rustling of spiders in the trees.
Awesome, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you everyone. This has been a very fun series. So thank you all. And if you have been watching, thank you for watching. I will stop our recording now, and we'll just do some roses and thorns off camera. Oh well, off recording. But yeah, thank you very much.